The Grillers on the Rebel.
Delighted to be joined by Michael McDade from i2i Australia. Thanks for joining us, mate.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. I did say we met on the golf course a couple of weeks ago, and I did say, like me, you'll probably need a translator for this, mate, because we've got very thick English and Scottish accents.
Indeed,
but that's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, I think,
I'll interpret for everyone.
No, I don't know what he's saying.
Exactly. We can't understand him either, so that's all good. Mate, tell us, I know you obviously fresh off the boat, as it were. I came over about 9 years ago. You're a lot more recent than that. But tell us about i2i Australia and what brought you here, I suppose.
Yeah, cool. Well, we actually flew 12 months ago yesterday, so we landed 12 months tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
We are fresh off the boat, as you said.
Yeah.
I've been really fortunate. I've been able to bring i2i with me to Australia. We've worked in 27 countries across the world anyway, but to actually bring it here and be landed here,
yeah,
and bring I don't know some fantastic tools and techniques for people that they can put into their lives is something I'm really proud of and excited to be working with people.
Yeah.
So i2i itself stands for impossible to inevitable. Somebody tells you can't do something, I can tell you how you can.
Yeah.
But make it sustainable. And we work across sports, education, business, one-to-one, teams. We've been really fortunate to work with some high-end elite sports people, which is the stories that people love. When you talk
We're all about that, mate.
Stuff,
absolutely.
Darren Clark being one of our really cool ones back when he won the British Open.
I was there.
Where did you?
At Sandwich, down
fantastic.
on the south coast, absolutely. And I had tonsillitis that weekend. And I was in misery because it pissed down with rain the whole weekend. But I was so delighted for Darren. So you work. Tell us a bit about that. Then,
yeah. So our founder, Michael Finnegan, he worked direct with him. A longish story, but just to keep it really short, Jimmy White was actually our first client, the snooker player.
I've worked with Jimmy myself
and
as well.
It was really, really bizarre because he'd never beat Stephen Hendry before. 14 times, ends up beating him. David Vine, BBC, says to him, "Tell me what's happening, Jimmy, you look like a new man." And he says, "I've got myself a motivator. If you need your head sorting out, speak to my man, Michael Finnegan."
No way.
And the business just sort of erupted from there. And Chubby Chandler, a guy that was a golfer, became into sports management. He called Finnegan and said, "Does this stuff work with golfers and cricketers?" He said, "I didn't know it bloody worked on snooker players."
Yeah.
And then it just sort of built from there, and Darren Clark was one of the golfers.
But how were they going before they ventured into speaking to you guys? How were they performing?
Well, Darren Clark was performing okay.
Yeah.
He'd sort of dropped out the top 50. He was out. He was 250 to 1 actually at the Open itself.
Yes, he was, absolutely.
And that was like a 6-week program we sort of went through with him. But we'd started working with him a bit before that. He was introduced in a room with Darren and a few other golfers at the time, Radar being one of them at the time, and his vision was to become a commentator, which obviously he's become one of the best in the world, and it sort of just evolved from there. But these are people that are still performing well. If you look at Jimmy White as the example, it was off the table that he was really, really struggling with from a mindset point of view. Gambling, drugs, alcohol, and all that, and in the end it starts affecting his snooker. And when we speak to people, we don't go in to talk to the business to tell them how to be better at what they do, or how a golfer can be better, or a snooker player, or MMA fighter, but whatever. It's not about that. It's about working on the mindset so that they can then excel at what they are absolutely exceptional at, which is what we want them to do. So that's how we help people.
So Jimmy White, just to put you into the frame here, Scotty, Jimmy White's known as the most unlucky snooker player there's ever been. He's been to 6 world finals and he lost them all.
And he's a bit like me then.
Yeah, everybody says Jimmy's the one that missed the world championship, should have been world champion. But I went actually to his 10th and final major that he won. It was the Scottish Open actually, and I bought tickets randomly months earlier, hoping that Jimmy would get to the final, and it was Jimmy and Paul Hunter, who's now passed away. Paul Hunter was beautiful guy, amazing snooker player, would have been the level of Ronnie O'Sullivan. I'm getting goosebumps when I'm actually talking about it. But then a funny story with Jimmy White, he fronted me. So I had a company in the UK where I had professional darts competitions and snooker and pool, and it was like a pub to professional, and Jimmy fronted my pool competition.
Oh, wow.
So I know Jimmy quite well, and off the table, he was nuts when he was younger. He was he talks about it now openly, cocaine, everything, while he was playing snooker.
But when you look at it, when they do do play snooker, they're so composed.
Yes.
And the concentration and everything goes there. So you'd have to let loose somewhere.
Yeah, you would, but I don't know about having the white stuff before you actually hold a cue. I
Yep.
don't know how. But they could also drink beer around the table, so
Yeah, wow.
they would be sinking 10 pints a game as well.
Well, that was
so.
the time where they were smoking and everything.
Oh,
around the table, weren't
absolutely.
they?
It was the
Yeah.
best sport in
Sounds
the
like a
world.
pub.
Yeah. It sounds great, doesn't it?
Yeah, snooker and darts, they were the two that people really liked to enjoy themselves when they were playing it,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Absolutely. Well, I managed numerous professionals in the UK, and the beer that people would drink, they'd get to a point, we'd go to the floor tournaments, they'd start at 10 o'clock in the morning, they'd be drinking beer. If they got some of the players, if they get to like the quarterfinals or the semi-final, they'd be too pissed to literally throw it out. But up to that point, they were just 100% accurate, and then they get to a point where they were falling over. But it was interesting to see. Oh, mate, what an eye opener for me. I don't know if you mentioned it to me when we met last time, but
Good research, mate.
yes, thank you. No, always. But tell me about your journey personally. Like, I know I've been to Southport numerous times. That's where you lived, isn't it, in the UK?
Yeah, so Scottish accent, but lived in Southport for 36 years, which is near Liverpool, so the northwest of England. I am a Manchester United fan, not a Liverpool fan or Everton. To be fair, I did a lot with the charity work around the Marina Dalgletian stuff throughout the old company I worked for. So I'm probably the only Man United fan that doesn't mind Liverpool. From that rivalry side. But no, it's really cool. Southport was fantastic to us, but my dream's always been to come to Australia ever since I was 13. I wanted to be in the police of the fire brigade. And then I came over here for my cousin's wedding. They've lived here for 40 plus years now. And I saw the coppers in Melbourne with the leather jackets and the shades, and I was like, this is where I want to be. So it was a bit of a dream, and then life gets in the way. And when I met my wife, she had already been travelling, came back to become a nurse, and we got together, and then I got introduced to a gentleman called Steve Roberts, who I ended up working for 17 and a half years. And then when that was an O2 franchise, and when O2 decided they didn't want the stores anymore, or franchise anymore, they took everything back in house, and then it opened up for the opportunity to come here, which we did, as I said, 12 months ago. So we went for PR, got that, moved over. But for 17 and a half years, I was a sales director for an O2 franchise. We had 21 shops, started from 1 up to 21, 3 call centres. We were the number 1 franchise in the UK with an O2, and everything I learnt there, I've obviously been able to bring here. But internally, being the sales director, I became a trainer within i2i 14 and a half years ago. So trained everyone on this behavioural coaching stuff that we had, so they could be the best versions of themselves, and then we'd go out and perform for us, if you like, on the shop floor, which allowed us to get those marginal gains, percentage gains, which in sport's really cool, but within business is massive as well.
Absolutely.
And it allowed us to go on and perform like we did. And then, as I said, I'm really fortunate I could bring it here and now deliver it to all the Australians and some of the English and Scottish and Irish people and Welsh people that
so
are
There's
here.
a few of them coming over now, don't worry.
So many here, aren't there? I can't get my head around it when I go and play whatever it is, golf or bowls or whatever. I reckon half the people there are not Australian, and most of them are either Pommies or Scottish. But yeah, so interesting. You spoilt my question about the cool people that you work with, but so if our listeners, Scotty mentioned in the introduction that you work with teams, you work with individuals. If somebody's listening, what kind of person are you looking for, or what can you bring? What can you give to somebody who employs your services?
Yeah, cool. So two ends of the scale. Almost, you've got people that are struggling within business, and that might be mentally, or they just can't quite get the team working or performing. And it's about motivation. It's about coming in and getting people to understand what's going on in their head and what barriers they're putting in the way. Then you flip to the other side, and the teams that are performing really well are the ones that I love, because they're always looking at how do they stay ahead of the game, how do they get those percentage games, as I mentioned earlier. What can they do just to add a bit more? And again, that can come down to one-to-one sessions. I do a 2-day program, which is 1 day theory, 2nd day practical, and you get everything and anything in, and it's the nearest thing that you'll get to an instruction manual for your brain. And it is fully exactly how it works, and the tools, techniques, as I said, you can put into everyday life, but you just smash it when you're in work. So if you look at business like that, but then, you know, when you're looking at it, any business that's got leadership teams is good, sales teams are good, but the industry actually doesn't matter. And I know it's one of those where people are always like, well, can you be a bit specific? I'm like, no, because everyone's got a brain. Everyone's got something going on in between their ears, and it's about me helping them unlock the potential that they've got. Sports.
Can you hear the buzzing? Sorry.
It's gone now.
Yeah, it's gone now.
Carry on, mate. Sorry about that.
No, it's all right. And then sports-wise, again, individual athletes up to rugby teams, cricket teams, soccer teams, and I say soccer now as well. I'm quite good at that.
Yeah, good.
Just to blend it in a little bit. So team sports are great. It's, and without dropping too much, when we worked with Sydney Rabbitohs a long time ago now, because we worked with Michael Maguire. I say we, the Royal We. Michael Finnegan, the founder, worked with Michael Maguire at Wigan. Yeah. And then when he came over here, and supported there, and we do the behavioural assessment stuff so that you can really figure out how someone works and are you putting the right person in to become the captain or to become the leader or whichever it might be. And Sam Burgess, I think a lot of people listening to this being Australian will know that, and that are into the sport, when he burst his eye socket in the final 40 seconds in, if he hadn't been chosen to be the captain, somebody else might have gone, I'm out. He's gone, no, hold on, I'm in this for the for the team, for everybody else. A chance he could have lost his eyesight, could have been a lot worse than that. And he grabbed it by the scruff of the neck and decided, I'm ripping through this. And from a mindset point of view, so again, it's all over the place. It just depends on what people are looking for.
So with the sport and work, it's just that 1% extra, isn't it? 1% counts in everything.
Massively. And whether you're at the top end, that 1% can be huge. But at the bottom end, 1%, 2%, you could find 10, 20% that really makes a difference to people. But they've got to be open to it. And as I said, it doesn't matter what people do. Fundamentally, I can sit around a table with 12, 20, 50 people, whatever. They've got the thing that's in common within the business, within the team. That's the commonality they've got. For me, I just get them to open that up and they talk about it, and then I'll steer the direction, utilising the stuff that I've got to help and support those as well.
Love it. Well, if you're listening, we've got a lot of businesses, don't we, that listen, a lot of trades, a lot of, I guess, industries that I've got sales teams. And if you're listening, get Michael employed, because you've worked with some really cool people, but I think what you do, it does make a difference, mate. And I take my hat off to you. It's really cool. But we've touched on a bit of football, soccer. I mean, I have to do it as well, because on the sports, if I say football, they think I'm talking about rugby, which is not football, is it? Rugby league? AFL, obviously, I can.
That is football.
I'll accept that.
That is football.
Yeah, they use their feet in that. You get that. It's like American football, and you don't even kick the ball.
No, exactly.
What are you talking about?
Why is that football? When they call rugby league, I'm just like, it's not footy. But second part. Are you happy to stay with us for the second part, mate?
Of course.
Lovely. We're going to talk about Scotland. I'm using my best Scottish accent there, mate.
Not so bad, not bad.
Because it's been a fantastic few weeks, mate. They've qualified for the World Cup. So up next, Scotty, we're going to bore you with a lot of soccer chat, my friend.
Beautiful. Braveheart.
The Grillers on the Rebel.
But I know, Michael, you've got a few things happening with the business. Just tell about the summer camps and the initiative you've got going at the moment.
Yeah, thank you. So I done something back in the last school holidays where I got 2 soccer teams together that I coach for my kids, and there was 16 of us in total, or the kids in total, and we'd done a 2-day programme for those guys. They range between 11 and 14. So with that working and actually the impact that it had, I'm now looking at teen camps moving into summer holidays and then any holiday moving after that. It'll all be on my socials and stuff for people to have a look.
Where do they go, mate?
So if you go to Instagram, it's i2i Australia.
Yep.
And you can find it on that. It's on my LinkedIn as well, just under Michael McDade.
Yep.
There is i2i Australia. That's just starting to generate some people there as well. So if they follow on either of those two, things will be shared on there. There'll be links for parents to go on, and they can have a look. I think most of our listeners will be Instagram, won't it? Let's be honest. But so I am just venturing into using TikTok, but we'll see where that goes.
Aren't we all?
But with regards to the social side, that's one of the key areas that I'm looking at the moment, especially from a teen point of view, education and students and speaking to schools. From the 10th of December, there's a huge change happening across Australia, and being a parent myself, it's like, that's brilliant.
I love it. I love the idea.
However, it's what is the impact going to be socially, mentally? You might have a child that
lives on social
media. That actually might not have a friendship group, but is linked on social and feels part of something.
Do you know what? I've never thought of it like that.
And then when that's taken away from them, because they just think these guys are growing up, they don't know any different.
Yeah, that's right.
No,
and some of them might have had it since they were 8, 9, because some parents put them on Facebook, etc. And then obviously Snapchat's a huge thing. But the mental transition these kids are going to go through, these teens are going to go through, it's going to be impactful massively. Parents aren't going to know what to do. They're not going to know how to speak to people. The kids struggle to speak to themselves anyway, and I'm a big advocate, and I talk about this a lot within my course and on one-to-one stuff. Nobody talks to you more than you, and if you're not putting the right things in, it's very dangerous. And then when they're going to be left in this place of not having, it to hand, and being in that social environment and losing that, they're going to spiral a little bit.
It will create a lot of loneliness for a lot of children.
Massively.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the 2-day program, it can be spun round for sports, it can be spun round for business, but like the impact is what's in the room, which is what I said earlier.
Yeah.
So if you've got these people in the room, we talk about what's happening in the room, and they'll talk about the things that's going on and how they feel, and what they can do. And they actually come out the shells as well, which is really, really important. So I'm doing one on the 12th and 13th of January. That's based in, it's going to be in Varsity Lakes.
Yeah.
However, based on how many people start coming through, I can pop them up anywhere. I can put one in Logan, I can put one here, I could go to Brisbane, I can go to Tweed, like as long as I've got 12 to 15 people and 8 to 15 people in the room, maximum, just to get the best impact, I can pop them up everywhere. So it's a trial and error, really, to see where it's going to land. But they need it.
This might be a silly question. Obviously, said you can go into a room with 15 people and do the face-to-face. Can you do it over Skype?
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Because we go all over Queensland, New South Wales as well. So there could be
Yeah.
community groups or parents that really want to have a chat. So if you can do it over Skype,
that'd be all be done on Skype, Teams, anything online at all.
Good.
The impact's really good face to face, as you can imagine.
Yep.
Because you can see if someone's dipping a little bit and you can help them, because a lot of it is motivation. It's about me standing up and owning the room, but they love that's the interaction that you have.
Yeah.
However, it does work. It works for businesses as well. But yeah, face to face is good. However, you can do it online. There's no issue, and you can have more people online.
Yep.
It's just working through. We have a workbook that we work through, so they have an online version of that they've got to utilise.
Yep.
Which again, it's a little bit harder because, as I said, there's the odd person. If I see something's affecting them, because you don't have to share in a room.
Yeah.
That's what people have to understand. They think they've got to come and present and be loud, and they don't. They could sit there. However, I will walk around and have a look at the book, and if they want to talk about something, we can take it to the side.
Everyone's
after.
different.
But everybody's different, exactly.
Yep.
One final piece on that. I'm covered under the NDIS as well. So again, I've just done something on my socials there. I've got a list of 6 or 7 headings that it all comes under, so that if kids are struggling with anxiety and different things in social environments, we can help and support that. And I make sure that people are in the right room and with the right group of people, rather than having, your head sports kid from school that's the number 1 basketball player, and then you've got a kid that really doesn't want to speak or even be there.
Yeah.
So,
because they will have fear. They won't want to speak over this sports star or this elite person. They just sit back into their shell and go, they'll do all the talking.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, they get a lot from it,
Yeah.
but they get so much more when they can actually let themselves open up if they feel like it as well.
Absolutely. It's such an eye-opener, Michael. It really is. And yeah, look, I could talk all day about the business because it's so interesting. But get on Instagram, i2i Australia, follow Michael on LinkedIn, and get involved, because it's so very important. Whether, like you said, you're a top performing sportsman in school or whatever, or you're a shy retiring youngster or adult, it's for everyone, isn't it?
And businesses, if you want to motivate your staff, just everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, massively. Like, business is great.
Yeah.
It's brilliant, because seeing businesses that are performing well, love it. If they're not performing so well, to help and support that along their journey is great. And age-wise, like you said, I've got a 12-year-old at the moment that I'm working with.
Yeah.
She's soccer and golf.
Yeah.
And we're working on that. And if you can imagine a young girl stepping onto the tee, and it's mostly gentlemen that play golf when she's playing in the competitions. So to work through that whole mindset and process of getting a club out the bag, walking up to that first tee, waiting for them to hit their shots, for them to walk to the red tees.
Yeah.
That from a young girl perspective, she's just won the club junior championship.
Yeah, how good.
It's awesome.
Yep.
It's so good. And she's just fantastic. So age doesn't matter, as in, whether it's business or a teen. 12 and upwards tends to be the area that works, because people have developed a little bit more.
Yep.
They can understand it, because there's a little bit of psychology, a little bit of science backed, but dead easy. But it's got a land right for those people. So 12 and up tends to be the age that I'll focus on.
I've got to bring Bo Greaves in here.
Yeah.
I always do. But so I did I created a darts TV show when I was in England, the Darts Factor. We had this little girl, Bo Greaves, come on, 10 years old. Smashed all the blokes up to like 22, 23 years old, absolutely smashed them to pieces on the dartboard. Ended up managing her. She's now the best female player in the world by a street match. She's won 3 world championships. She's won her last 86 matches on the PDC tour. She's only 20 years old.
Yeah.
And she was the same. Male environment. We used to take her into pubs with blokes and challenge grown men to play against a little girl. It was a bit wrong, but it was just amazing. But I'm all about that, mate. And we talk about it all the time, female involvement in male sports and male-dominated sports.
Bring it on.
Speaking of sport, speaking of motivation, I love the home countries, mate. I know a lot of the home countries don't love England, which is fair enough. But I love Scotland, love Wales, love Northern Ireland and Republic of Ireland. It's great to see a lot of them in the playoffs, but Scotland are already there, mate. First time for 20-odd years. How does that feel?
Unbelievable. It's incredible. My mum and dad had just been over for 6 weeks. I took them back to the airport last night, so it was really nice that I could watch the football with my dad. Yeah. That was nice. And I'm shouting through to my son, quick, come and watch this, look at this goal, look at this goal, look at that. And it was just unbelievable. When they even gave that extra time, and it's like 7 minutes or whatever, and it gets to 7 minutes, you're going, what's going on? Blow the whistle, come on. Yeah. And then we scored that goal from
that's the one where he kicked it over his head, is that right?
That
was
McTominay
the first one,
bicycle kick was spectacular, and then to win it, they scored for their own half.
Why is it called a bicycle kick when you're upside down? I don't get it.
It's just the movement of your legs.
Okay, no worries.
In Scotland, where you do ride bikes like everybody else. It's like when a hamster wheel, maybe, and you got that little upside down. But no, it was incredible. That goal itself, I feel really sorry for, I think it was Shankland that scored the second one, because it was just as important as all the others. It was just a bit rubbish in comparison, but it was still incredible. But then the third goal from Tierney, how he bent that round, and then that last goal, to have the audacity to take it and hit it so sweet, and just watching it and here just gliding slightly, and I can
Casper Schmeichel in the net.
He's got his eyes shut.
Yeah, back to Celtic as well, and they're just going to ruin him. Oh, I love it.
Well, speaking of, so you're a United fan, and look, Scott McTominay I don't know why, but it didn't kind of work out at United. Since then, he's gone to Napoli. I think Player of the Year, nominated for the Ballon d'Or, and then Scotland, he's killing it. How amazing for that lad, and he deserves it, doesn't it?
100%, and I think it really
he's
shows.
My favourite.
Is he?
It really shows putting someone in the right place and in their position.
Yeah.
Then they can obviously flourish massively. And
Absolutely.
I mentioned about the AVA stuff that we do, the behavioural assessments. That's knowing what that person's capable of doing, and then putting them in the right place, and only putting them where they should be.
Yeah.
So for him, and I watched something, I think it was Ollie's second interview on the overlap.
Yeah.
He's the only person that's been on twice, and he was on recently, and he said there was only once or twice that he played him in the position he wanted to play him in. Yeah. And it was because they had others like Bruno and a couple others around there. So
isn't it?
It's hard, yeah. So, when you bring in someone of the calibre of Bruno, you think he has to play, and he does, he's the captain. But when you've still got someone that can do it, and he's had to go somewhere else to show, could he have done that for United? I don't know. He was popping up, scoring goals. He probably his best period of time was with Ollie as well.
Yeah. And he always did. Even when he was on the bench, he'd come on and score a couple, and you're like, why is this kid not playing? But you've just answered the question there, and it's like City with those world-class players. My young cousin, he's in the City under-21s, but he'll never get in. And growing up, he was the best player in the world, we thought. I'd like to be playing for England now, and I think he's 20 now, but he's never going to get in that first team, because it's just full of absolute superstars.
It is, yeah. And they all play in the positions they should be. They're all doing the things that they should be in. Yeah, that's the thing with Scott. But yeah, for him to go on and do what he's doing at Napoli is exceptional. But he's been doing it for Scotland now for probably 3 years.
Certainly
and
has.
they dropped him back to centre-back for a while, and everyone's like, why are they doing that? And he'd done a job. Then he was back into midfield. Then they have him out on the right a little bit, bring him back in, and then they play him in that false. Like, he's box to box, massive. Like, his confidence and belief is through the roof, which is a huge part of what, the stuff that I do.
Yeah.
And when you get that right, the rest of it doesn't matter.
That's right.
It doesn't matter.
How good is this? I bet you loving this?
Oh yeah, I mean, all that's going through my head is like, gee, I wonder what a pub crawl will be like in Scotland.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, they do that upside down as well.
Look,
eventually, I'd get there too. Yeah.
I've said it before, mate. Edinburgh's one of my favourite places in the world. The pubs there are just spectacular.
Yeah.
Excuse me. We could talk to you all day, mate. Unfortunately, we've got. I'm not going to say that on air because we've got another interview coming in. But unfortunately, Michael, we've got to wrap it up. But like I said, we'd love to talk to you all day. It's so insightful. And I'm sure we'll have you on again in the future if you'd be happy to.
I would love to. Thank you again for the opportunity to come on and see your lovely faces.
Yes, likewise.
And have a nice chat.
And just once again, how do they get in contact with you?
So if they go onto my Instagram or the i2i Instagram, it's i2i Australia, and they'll find it there. And then they can search for me, Michael McDade, on LinkedIn, and they'll find it there as well.